What's up, blog people? Today is Wednesday, and that means that today's the day that the new product hits comic book stores all over, well, at least North America. I don't know about the world, but I get it in my mind. Oh, I'm gonna go down and see what's down there today. Oh, wait a minute! Today the new Spider-Gwen comes out. Spider-Gwen is the one comic book that comes out. That comes out regularly these days that makes me just like nutty and excited to get the new issue. I mean, I'm excited about a lot of them, but this is the one that I'm the most excited about, and it's my favorite one, and I think that this is some of the best superhero comic books that have been getting made in many years. So my Wednesday purchases for this week include, completely consist of, Secret Wars number 7. Now, I'm not reading Secret Wars yet because I want to wait until issue 8 comes out and then read the whole thing in one go. And I also picked up Web Warriors number 1 because I really like the art inside and because it would just be fun to have the number 1. I'm probably not going to buy every issue. I'll probably just get, keep the number 1, and then I'll wait until the rest of the series ends up in the Marvel Unlimited app. And then, of course, the grand big one of them all, Spider-Gwen number 2. So to get ready to read Spider-Gwen number 2, I reread the final issue of the previous Spider-Gwen series and then the first issue of the new series before reading this brand new issue number 2, which I just read and I absolutely loved. And what I loved about it is that all of the stuff that I loved about the previous Spider-Gwen series is still intact. Because you see, what happened was that Spider-Gwen was created and debuted in the pages of a series called Tales of Spider-Verse. Because back earlier this year, whenever it was, when they were doing a big multi-part, kind of just corporate-driven crossover series called Spider-Verse, where every version of Spider-Man that's ever been in any form of media is all crossing over and teaming up to do this big fight. They did a 5-issue series called Tales of Spider-Verse, where each issue did a single issue story about some new take on Spider-Man, like an alternate universe version of Spider-Man. So one was where he's piloting a big mech suit, kind of like a Pacific Rim kind of thing. One of them he was in like a pulp noir sort of thing, and one of them was a story where Gwen, instead of the spider having bitten Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy having gotten killed by the Green Goblin, in this take it was Gwen that got bit by the spider and got the spider powers, and Peter Parker was her first supervillain. And all of that was backstory to the first issue, and I said even back then that issue, Tales of Spider-Verse number 2, was probably the best single issue comic book story in forever. I don't know, my favorite anyway. So Spider-Gwen was such a huge success that they greenlit a series and they did 5 issues. And in the 5th issue, I've talked about this before, so if you've been watching my vlogs, pardon me for repeating myself, but on the final page of story, at the bottom it says "to be continued," and then on the facing page is the letter from the editor explaining that this is the final issue because everything has to come to a halt because Secret Wars is the end of everything. You see, Secret Wars, for those of you not into this stuff, Secret Wars is like what Marvel is doing to just press the reset button and start from the beginning on the whole universe, right? Now, what I liked so much about those Spider-Gwen comics was that they existed outside of the regular Marvel continuity, which meant that they were free to do anything they wanted, and what they wanted to do, seemingly, and why I loved it so much, it was just like a new, bold, fresh take on all of the classic Spider-Man and even Marvel characters. So Spider-Man is now a woman, and Gwen Stacy is the secret identity, and Peter Parker was her first supervillain, and Captain George Stacy, her dad, is the head of the task force who's supposed to be bringing her to justice. It brought the Vulture in, but then it brought in Frank Castle, the Punisher, and instead of a murderous vigilante, he's a superior who takes over from George Stacy on the hunt for Spider-Gwen. And so when they announced that it was finished because it had to dovetail into Secret Wars, my fear was that they were gonna say that she's now part of the regular Marvel universe and Marvel continuity. I've not, like I said, I haven't read Secret Wars yet, so I definitely haven't read any of like the spin-off, because there was so many different like series that ran alongside it to buy into it, just to get all of the big fans buying multiple copies of stuff and buying into all kinds of new stuff. So I was afraid that they were bringing Spider-Gwen into the regular Marvel universe and that the new comics would just be her running around and just be part of all the rest of it. Thankfully, it seems like that's not the case. So in Spider-Gwen number 2, in the new Spider-Gwen number 2, we're introduced to this alternate universe's version of Captain America, which is a woman named Samantha T. Wilson, and it was awesome. They show in flashbacks a bit of her origin, and then you're also introduced to the Falcon, her sidekick, which is actually her clone. And you actually see the final showdown between Spider-Gwen and the Lizard, because the Lizard, of course, was the villain that Peter had turned into in the backstory before the first Spider-Gwen story, and now she's facing off against like 6 different lizards. At first she thought maybe Peter wasn't dead and Peter's back, but then it turns out that no, these lizards are other people. And Captain America, this female Captain America, is going on about there's some secret organization called Silk. Now, Silk is the name of one of the other Spider-Man characters right now. They've introduced a thing in the main Spider-Man comics where Peter Parker was not the only one bitten by that radioactive spider. So was a girl named Cindy Moon. The only difference is that she was immediately captured and has grown up living in captivity, and she's only just recently got out, and she's now a superhero called Silk. So now in the Spider-Gwen comics, Silk is S-I-L-K. We don't know what that stands for, but there's periods after each letter, and it's some kind of like shadowy organization that's somehow suspected of being responsible for all these lizard people running around. Anyways, so my review on Spider-Gwen number 2 is that it is just mwah. I'm loving the story. I'm loving that we're right back to it just being whatever it wants to be and doing whatever it wants to do. So Jason Latour on the writing, it's just such an interesting and cool, unique take on this idea of an alternate version of the Marvel Universe. And there's a part of me now too that's hoping and wondering if we're ever going to get to see a Spider-Gwen movie and this kind of thing. And then the art by Robbi Rodriguez it's such a unique style. It's like nothing else that we see in mainstream superhero comics. It's bursting with energy, and just like even stuff down to the sound effects lettering being obviously somebody's just kind of scribbled in handwriting, and certain ways that they use like zipatone effects and sound effect lettering, like I said, and it's got this sort of like kind of punk rock aesthetic that is just really refreshing and really cool to see. I'm really excited. I'm really pleased with Spider-Gwen number 2, and I hope that if you're going out and if you're into superhero comics, I hope you'll pick this up, because it's really great stuff. Looking really forward to the next issue, and looking forward to putting up a new vlog for you tomorrow. So subscribe so you don't miss a damn thing, because we're almost up to 50 daily vlogs in a row. So thanks everybody for watching. Check out the superhero videos on the main channel. Got a hot new Spider-Man one coming for you this week. I'm wondering how much I should tell you about it. I'll tell you this. It's our take on a restaging in real life out amongst the public of a classic Spider-Man moment from the comics. So it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to show you. Watch for that coming on Friday on the main channel. Subscribe here so you don't miss these daily vlogs. Hit me up on social media, because I love talking to you over there, and we'll see you real soon. Yeah. Where's the button here? Here we go.